but we cannot go another second longer without giving the people what they want.
Yes.
Our insight on House Hunters, our episode. We're gonna react to our episode. I think is how we're gonna do this. Because we watch reality TV. What a better opportunity than to react to our own episode of reality TV?
Sure, let's do it.
So before we get into it, Brooke, just give broad strokes. What are your thoughts on us now having been on House, not just being on House Hunters, but having seen us on TV?
I will say it was overall a great experience. I think not everyone maybe has a great experience when they go on reality TV, but I feel like we did. I'll just say, watched in real time with everybody. So we did
Right.
not know what to expect, right?
Right.
And so we were kind of nervous.
Yeah,
rightfully
definitely.
so.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And might sound silly, but I was so taken aback by how quick it went. I think in my head I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, it's gonna go on. Watching it, I'm gonna be cringing, and it's just gonna be like, make it stop.
Right.
But it really went so fast, and then I'm like, wait, like we said and did so much more.
Yeah.
Right? So like you don't know what they're gonna use and how they're gonna piece it together. So it was
Right.
really cool to see how they did put it all together.
Yeah, not to get into the too much of the specifics, but we filmed obviously much longer than what they could fit into a 22-minute episode. So just seeing what made the quote unquote cut was a little cool. Okay, speaking of us watching it live, if you watch us on YouTube and maybe even some of our social media clips, I'm going to be interspersing some of our original live watch reactions to the show on there that we watched with family and our realtor. And so if we're talking about a moment and you want to see our initial reaction to it, go to our YouTube, click on the reaction video, and you'll see clips of us reacting to moments from the episode that were entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's I guess we should how did we get on the show? You want to explain that?
Well, we just applied.
Yeah, it was
Jarrett had this silly, goofy idea to go on to hgtv.com and apply.
We were hanging out with my parents who we like House Hunters, but we watch a lot of Love It or Listed. But my parents watch a lot of House Hunters.
Yes.
And
I will say we already were like looking for a house.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, let's pretend to buy a house to be on TV. Like we were legitimately
look if you're watching online, we really are in the house.
Yeah, we are.
House number 2 that we chose.
No, 1.
Oh, you're right. It was house number 1. I'm sorry.
So, so like it was, we were like, wait, we're looking for a house. Like maybe we could do it on TV, right?
Right.
So we went on, we applied. And then basically you write like a profile, you send in pictures, and then pretty quickly a casting director reached out and was like, hey,
producer,
yes. And was like, hey, we want to interview you. So we set up a Zoom interview. We killed it. It was one of those things where you're like, hey, we're vibing. Like, she thinks we're funny. Like, this could be good, right?
Yeah.
And then, let's see. Then pretty quickly.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
They sent
the people down, and then we started it. We were already friends with the realtor, Nareda, who did an amazing job.
She did a great job.
Silent clap
Shout
to
out
Nareda. She's amazing. I'm sure we'll talk about her more. And next thing you know, we're filming the show.
Yep.
So
that was another thing, was we had to then be like, hey, Nareda, like, this might sound crazy, but would you want to be on House Hunters with us? And she was like, sure. Like, she just was like so along for the ride. It was great.
Yeah. Wow. Just you saying that made me think of something from the early on in the process. But so next thing you know, we're filming our episode of House Hunter. So we film it. Of course, when you film something, they don't air it right away. So we were just sitting here at waiting because we chose our house, you know, like, oh, the tension's building. What is it gonna? Did we make the dumbest? Did we just make a huge mistake? Are we gonna be that couple that it looks like we're fighting all the time?
Yeah, and not really like we're pretty active on social media, but we didn't like we couldn't like post like, oh, here's our new house, we bought a house.
Yeah,
right?
we don't want to spoil it too much, and so. So it was very interesting to see. I mean that waiting period.
Yeah.
And as we got to the closer and closer to the episode date, which was last Friday, it was like it was getting intense.
It was. We were nervous.
Oscillating back and forth.
Your mom walked in, was like, "Are y'all nervous?" And we were like, "Yeah, are you not?" Because she is on there too.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we were going back and forth between, oh, this is going to be so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if it's horrible, life goes on.
I think we should talk about how our two different ways of processing, too.
Okay.
Jarrett is very much like worst case. Like, he prepares himself for the absolute worst case.
Yeah.
So he's just like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be, we just need to prepare. And I'm like, let's maybe not go down that path right now. Let's just think like best case scenario, right? Like it could be really good. It could be, we can just laugh about it. Like it'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's very typical of our processing.
So we invited our friends and family. Like I said, there'll be video clips of that, Lord willing, on our YouTube and our social media. And so then we watched the episode, which we'll talk about. Just a quick moment of silence for the app that has got us through. TikTok. TikTokisha's gone so soon. She didn't even make it to her teens, and she's
so
left.
Tragic. What are we gonna do now? What am I gonna do when I'm saying, "Oh, I'm going to bed"? And I can't lay there and scroll
TikTok.
Yeah.
I just thought about, I was like, oh my goodness. What, when you're just bored, it's just something to do. That's why I can say now that TikTok is really going to be gone after this weekend. I'll be like, oh, that's why we didn't go viral. They banned it right before.
Right, yeah.
But we still have, like I said, you can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Instagram, Facebook. We're on social media.
You're talking about the People's Rose.
Yeah, the People's Rose.
Okay, well, we should also talk about where you can watch the episode.
If you have yet to see the episode, I know it's on demand on some people's cable for free.
If you have cable, you have HGTV, it should be on demand.
And then
season 253, episode 10.
Yes, season 253, because there are a lot of episodes, and it's not in the order you might necessarily think. 253 episode 10. Our episode title is, as you saw probably in the description of this podcast, it's called A Home for Podcasters. And so we it was interesting because we also we tell people that we podcast about reality TV, but that was another thing. Now everyone who's
well, I mean, it's just, we have a pretty big church community, right? And so word got around, and then so people watched it, and then they were like, wait, we didn't know you had a podcast.
Right. Or even
because we didn't do a lot of like, not marketing. What's the word? Promotion. We kind of just did it for fun.
What, our podcast or House Hunters?
The podcast.
Because we like reality TV. We talk about it so much. It's something we'd be doing anyway. So, the episode is airing. Immediately seeing your face on TV is crazy. It had been a while since we filmed, and we'd filmed so much we didn't remember what we said. When we saw the description was going to be, I'm looking for a nook for gossiping. People were already roasting
me. We should have known that was coming, because when you said that, you said something along those lines in the interview, and she loved it.
Yeah.
And she was like, that had the whole executive team cracking up.
I don't think she said the whole
Yes, she did.
Executive team, but she said it had all of us. Yeah. You know what was cute part of the episode is they showed our little love story just to introduce us. I love seeing our wedding pictures and dating pictures
Yeah,
on the screen.
that was fun.
We filmed the first part at my parents' house. So it was a little jarring to see my parents' house
Yeah.
on the TV screen.
Well, the house you grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're right. I should have specified.
Mm.
But it was a real treat. I'm really thankful that our family members could participate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I think we were sick though the first day we were filming, or the day we filmed some of these parts.
When we were filming, I had a little bit of a cold and I can hear it in my voice.
You know, I didn't even notice it, but you did point that out. It was funny. Our budget was a little lower. People make fun of house hunters. You know, I am an ant farmer, and my wife, is a I don't know.
Stay at home,
And
homemaker.
we have a budget of $2 million. That was not our budget.
No,
so we were
not at
joking.
all.
They were going to save our episode for House Hunters Broke Edition.
Yeah. I think people appreciate that. I don't know. Y'all let us know, because I do know sometimes you wanna see like the big time, like rich and famous.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you want to see realistic too. What?
Yes, I agree with everything you're saying, but I was just the Chiron, I think is what it's called, describing what I was looking for, said cozy dark spaces, nooks for gossip, and a big yard. It's a lot of things we have. Let's just admit, we've watched this episode quite a few times.
Oh yeah.
So but that's because you really don't notice some things. The first watch through, people were quoting stuff to us that we just didn't even see or hear. So we watched it again, like, oh yeah, that did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I think was an interesting experience is we like home improvement or home TV shows, but I don't know if we're knowledgeable about the lingos. I thought there was a stretch when the pandemic hit, we saw just about every episode of Love It or Listed, so maybe then we would have been more knowledgeable, but because that wasn't the case, we didn't even really know how to describe what we wanted.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was kind of tough.
Yeah, I liked your look when we were viewing the first house. Actually, the whole episode you were looking good.
Listen, I tried really hard on my wardrobe. I won't even lie. I had a friend come over and help me, and we combed through all my stuff. I bought new stuff. I needed to be feeling and looking good.
Yeah, and you did. You looked very good. What was I about to say?
Now, I will say you did good with the glasses, because you have like 3 different pairs of glasses on
I purposely changed it up.
Like you were stylish with the glasses.
I did not want to be caught with the same pair on. I hope if someone noticed, if someone was paying attention, I wanted to be like, is this guy wearing new glasses every day? And yes, I am. Yes,
okay,
I am.
but that's like, why didn't you didn't want to be caught with the same pair on? Most people wear the same pair of glasses every day.
Yeah, but I've changed. I was the kind of person that wore the same pair of glasses for like 6 years.
Yeah, we don't. Let's not even get into that.
I had thought up and down, like I wasn't talking about nooks for gossip, and then on TV, I'm over here whispering into a nook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
they loved when you did that. I'm sure they were like, "Oh, we got it."
Yeah, in that first house, there was a lot of quotables. We were talking about. I think people have been hitting you up for saying you don't like boring white cabinets.
Yes.
Me saying, "Oh, I love a hallway." I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
I love a hallway.
And you saying, "Oh, I need to come over here. What if I need to talk about so and so? We come over here." And I'm like, you don't need to be talking about people like that.
Yeah. They did touch a little bit on the long commitment. That was, I think, another part we were worried about with the show, how much they were going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Jared's not ready for a house.
Mm-hmm.
Brooke is dragging him into home ownership.
I was worried about that. I was worried that I was going to be like the pushy wife that was pushing you into buying a house.
No, we were. I think I was a little more reserved, but I think we were both ready, and they did show that pretty well.
Yeah.
it's just seeing a lot of what's cool about the show is just seeing yourself on TV. I gotta admit.
Yeah.
We the episode aired and supposedly our cable comes through in HD, but it's a give or take. So when we bought it on Apple TV, which is another place you can watch it, $3. Support Apple. It's a struggling business. If you hear weird noises, there's cats outside our yard. That's the one thing about this house that is not on the HGTV. Is every once in a while, cat will moan by the window. Anyways, you seeing yourself in HD can be a little daunting, but I think we look good.
Yeah, I do too.
I think we look good. And okay. So when you would do your little cutaways, I'm gonna call them diary rooms because that's what they're called in Big Brother. Yeah. But you're in the moments, whatever they're called. You also looked really, really good there.
Oh, thanks, babe. That's sweet.
The crew was telling you repeatedly how good you looked.
Okay.
And I know you look good. But then when I'm seeing what they were saying, looking through the camera, I'm like, okay, yeah, I agree. They had to comment on it, even though her husband was standing right there. And of course, we know that we chose House 1. And so watching it back, we know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, they did a good job of keeping the suspense.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people told us they were thinking it was going to be House 3.
Right. And I was watching it. I was like, maybe we did pick House 3, but I mean, obviously we didn't. They also did, and the episode had like drone shots of Houston, which I thought were really cool. I wonder if they just have those on ready to go, or if they do those anew every time they're in Houston, because there's been a lot of Houston episodes out recently.
I'm sure they have them ready to go. I'm sure that's just like stock, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't even said this, but to anyone, I was a little worried about how my driving would look on TV, where people were gonna catch me running a stop sign or something.
That you were
just a little bit, because you never know how attentive people are. But I think we look good. The day we filmed at the second house was freezing. It was
freezing cold. Yeah, it was.
Well, we're Houstonians, so
yeah, to us it was.
Yeah, it was way colder than we like it to be.
Yeah.
I think this stretch of the episode at the second house I think that's my favorite stretch.
Really?
Only because I felt like
you were kind of being sassy about this.
Right, house. But I felt like this house tour is when I felt the loosest in front of the camera. Oh. It didn't feel like we're not actors, so it can feel a little awkward. You didn't ever felt awkward? You never felt awkward, because I could bring up moments in the shooting. I'm not going to get into too much behind the scenes where it was just like, this is kind of awkward.
I mean, maybe, yeah, but I don't know.
Okay. We got a natural right here. Yeah.
Well, actually, they did a good job of showing you being, because you were saying you liked how dark and cozy that house was. But you didn't, but I guess that was the only thing you liked, because you didn't like the stairs. Yeah. You didn't like, I'm like, oh, I like the chandelier. Do you like it? And you're just, no. Which people also thought was funny. And I was like, that's like very realistic. That's very much him.
Right. Yeah, it was I don't know. They did a good job of highlighting the good things about each house, and maybe, we did the house tour, so we saw way more of the house than they got to show, just that they didn't have time. But the way they highlighted the best parts of the house made it a little more of a even.
One thing they didn't really talk about in this second house was that there were like 9 different floors. Like every part of the house was a different type of floor.
Yeah, they rushed on it a little bit because of I think they kept in like one of the comments of us going like, okay, this is the different flooring down here. That's which brings me to another point. Can I be honest? I don't know. I was feeling myself today. There's some one-liners.
You like your fit?
I like my fit. I was like, that's a guy who's confident. That day, I don't know what it was.
Okay.
You know what else I think about? We are in the house we chose, but we tour houses that were up for sale. Presumably, someone got those
I
houses.
know.
So, what is it like for someone to be watching and go, huh?
I know, right?
They're touring the house I bought.
Right.
You know, they didn't pick that one, and I'm in their house.
That would be wild.
Yeah, you had a lot of good looks. I liked your
I realized I wore a lot of brown.
yeah.
I didn't realize I wore so much like light brown. But
It's not that bad. It's just
no, I mean it's just I like it. I didn't realize that I liked it and wore it so much though.
Yeah. Another thing about reality TV shows that I always wanted to experience. We talk about it sometimes. When we're watching reality TV, we can get so engrossed we can forget there's a production crew just on the perimeter of these people. Sure. So being on the show, I think we actually forgot because we're just on a house tour. We forgot about the cameras a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But working with the people that filmed and produced and did the sound and assisted in the episode was so cool. I really liked
that was
the people we worked with. There was a bunch of different personalities. They were very experienced, obviously. They've done this. Nobody there who had never done an episode before except us. And I think they really helped us. Well, we helped them, but they made a really good episode with us, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, another thing for those who know Houston, I won't say too much about the locations because I think they did a good job of kind of giving you an idea in the context of the show. But that's another thing that's kind of hard if you're just watching and you don't know the city location wise, can be kind of hard to do.
Yeah, for sure.
And it made me think about other episodes I've said where they'd be like, their location's interesting. You have no idea what that is unless you're in that city and you know where the house is at, right?
The distance wasn't bad on this one, but the location, the third house, yeah. But the location was like the opposite direction of like our families.
Right. It wasn't too far. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
So it just wasn't really that. I think that was throwing us off a bit.
Yeah. But or
I guess I would say is like a was a negative for us for that house.
Yeah. That's the thing about this show. It's 22 or 21 minutes. They don't have time to show you all the positives and all the negatives. But when you're looking at just the positives, it can almost be like, maybe we could have overlooked the power line in the backyard. You know what this third house is like?
I don't know. We would have had to like make sure that was absolutely taken care of before we moved in.
I think realistically, you're right, 100%. It would not have been a thing where we move in without that. No,
I don't even know how that happened. Like, how did that happen while someone was still living there? Like, I just don't even. I don't know.
This house to me is like, and I don't. We don't do this now, but everyone has this experience when you have an ex. You're back on the You're on the market. And you only think about the good stuff that happened with an ex when you're lonely or you're looking. You're like, you don't think how they weren't right for you, but you just think back to like, oh, that was a good time. That's what I think about with this third house. Sometimes I'm looking at this third house and like, wow, we could have lived a life in that house. But no, because as they showed in the show, it was right next to a commercial area. I don't think we were looking for that either.
So either.
I know
the cabinets were a mess. They show it in both bathrooms, but you can really tell in the like second bath the cabinets were like falling off.
Yeah, they showed it on the show, but I actually did like that enclosed shower.
Of course you did.
I don't mind dark and cozy spaces like it says in the show. And I actually like these little windowsill nooks, I guess.
The reason we're talking, I don't know if do they know we're watching it right now as we're talking about it? Did we say
No,
that?
we didn't really explain that.
Okay, well, that's why he said I like those, because we're watching that. We're looking at it right now.
I guess people have been listening along like, okay, interesting. But we have it playing on in the background just so we don't miss any of the comments from the show. But again, this is maybe our 7 millionth time watching it.
This is only our third time.
True.
Unless you were watching it alone without me.
I watch it in my dreams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like through osmosis. But it was, we got with these 3 houses, were really fun to tour. It was interesting I think we were learning a lot about our taste in houses, just discussing all the different types of variables in these houses. And I mean, of course, if you've seen the episode, the house we pick. I guess we should have been clear. If you hadn't seen this episode, we were going to spoil.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but when we picked house 1, I think it had the best of everything we were looking for.
Yeah.
It was really fun to see our son.
Yes, I love that.
At this age, because kids at that age, he's a toddler, they grow so fast.
Yeah.
That just a few moments of time, you see how much they change. So to have this moment encapsulated so pristinely, by a professional camera team,
right,
is worth it enough.
Right.
If they said, "Hey, the episode didn't air, but we'll send you footage of you and your family walking around," it would have been worth it. Because of course, when they show the house we picked and we see all of our family celebrating JB's birthday party, man, this is good stuff.
It is. I'm so glad that that's what we did. Like, that we were able to have his birthday party.
Right.
Because it just was so fun and sweet and such a sweet memory.
Yeah.
And then when he had his little, at the end, he has his own little thing where he is just like kind of jabbering.
Yes.
And it's so cute. I love it. I mean, obviously they know what they're doing.
Right.
That they picked that, but.
And it's I say this about our son. It is very true. Like, that's kind of still who he is. Just going off on and blah, 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 and we're just like, yeah, good.
Yeah.
And so seeing that, this is also the very short period of time, because as we announced on our last podcast, we are pregnant with our baby daughter. Lord willing, she'll be here in less than a couple months. And so this will be it'll be a memory of the time we're before her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. She'll be like, where was I? But not here yet. But another thing too, I have to give a shout out to my sister, because Foster Mom Farmhouse on Instagram, look her up. She came out, she drove 5 hours. She was 5 hours from me and helped me get the house ready.
Yeah.
Like, she did the whole accent wall for me. We did run out of wallpaper, so we only did half the wall. But she did that for me. She cleaned, she put things in place, she styled, like, the mantle. She did so much. It wouldn't have looked as good without her coming, for sure.
Yeah.
So, shout out, sis. Thanks.
Yes, shout out to your sis. She did a great job with helping. Shout out to my family. Thanks for my parents. Thanks for joining the filming process. Shout out to your parents for coming and being on TV. And shout out to the cameraman who told me to wear my glasses like this. Go to Instagram or YouTube to see what I'm doing. Yeah, I have my glasses. I look like I'm losing my mind. But there was glare because of the lighting in the room. And he said no one would see on the show. He was filming it in a way no one would notice. People noticed.
Well, they wouldn't have noticed except for you turned your head, and you could see it when you turned your head.
Yeah, I think you could see it before you turned your head, but it was that to me, he had to. I guess they wanted to glare out of my eye.
You had been anxiously anticipating that since the moment that happened.
Because I knew it would look like that, and I thought, people, the people that noticed it, because I don't think everyone noticed it, but the people that did were like, yeah, I wondered why you were doing that.
Oh my god!
And I was like, but no one was just like, he's crazy. But in your head, you're like, this is gonna be the most embarrassing moment of my life.
Yeah.
When really it's just me looking silly with my glasses for a brief moment. But it was a good episode. It was a good filming experience.
Yeah.
And now we get to anytime someone brings up House Hunters or HGTV, be like, we've been on HGTV. Oh, you watch Hulu? Well, Lord willing, it'll be on Hulu eventually. But yeah, we've been on Hulu. We've been on your cable box. Oh, HBO Max? Yeah, I had an episode on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and honestly, like I said last time, we are reality TV podcasters and participants now. We know what it's like to suit up and actually go film an episode.
That being said, what's our next reality venture?
Well, that's a good segue. We are going to talk about another TV show called Traitors. Mm-hmm. We're going to apply for Traitors. They have people that from all different shows, from all levels of fame. They've had people who are just randoms.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, hey, put me on the show.
Listen,
put you on the show. We're both going to apply.
I think Traitors. I don't want to go on. You can go on, but because I think Traitors is so hard. If you're a faithful, you are like constantly worried that you're gonna die.
I would never make it as a traitor. We play this game
as a traitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about the show in a second, but first we're going to do Brooks Buzz. But we play this game where you have to pretend to be the odd man out on and I'm horrible at that. We played 2 games like that. There's a couple games me and my family we play like that.
Chameleon,
and then there's one on Jackbox where you had to pretend to know what the and I'm just horrible at it.
Yeah.
Because it's harder than you think.
Yeah.
Now, and you have to lie as a traitor. You don't really have. Well, you have to. If someone asks you, you're a traitor, you have to say no unless you want to lose. Mm-hmm. I would love to be a faithful though, because I love accusing people. I love observing.
You also love to build a case. You love to build a case. Oh my gosh,
the thought of sitting at a round table and being like, I've been watching you.
Yeah.
And this is why. And then convincing everyone.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the episodes. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, I'd love to do this. But not all. This is what I think being on House Hunters showed me. Outside of how awesome it was. But I'm just like a lesson. Just apply.
Exactly, right?
Because
if you want to just put yourself out there,
we would have never thought we would be on HGTV buying a house.
No.
With our friends and family.
Right.
That's not something in a million years we would have guessed. And now that we've done it, we're like, we did that.
Right.
So it's that. Do I expect to get on any other reality TV show ever again? Realistically, probably no. But I never expected to be on House Hunters.
Fair.
Now I know that it's just an application and somebody liking you away.
True.
I'm doing it.
True.
Why not? I'm doing it every year. At least once a year, I'm going to apply to be on some reality TV show. It's going to be a Jared Johnson mantra. Not mantra, but
a goal.
Way of life. Goal. Yeah. A yearly goal. Just apply.
Goal. Yeah.
At least one, if not more.
I love